Shooting blanks at Milsim West is a great privilege, a privilege that comes with a lot of responsibility. Being able to add immersion to the game adds a different type of playstyle that is unique to the Milsim West experience. Blankfire serves two main purposes in the Milsim West games. The first is to add atmosphere and immersion. Gunfire during skirmishes and engagements adds an element of immersion that is not present in any other military simulation style games. It can be very useful. For example, it gives your team instant audio feedback when an engagement with the enemy starts, and helps them know where the enemy is engaging at even before someone can radio in. Just as if, in a real-life engagement, this provides the simulation of a real scenario. The second purpose blankfire serves is extending the range of engagements. BB replicas have a limited range and cannot reach the distances real firearms can. In Milsim West, participants are required to react to blankfire as if it were real incoming fire. Typically, they retreat, move to cover, or find a tactically better position to attack from without engaging someone with a blankfire gun. If out in the open, participants receiving blankfire may call a hit, but calling a hit from blankfire is not required. So do not get salty and bitch about my hits, my blankfire hits, if a participant does not call a hit. For example, here we have an engagement where several NATO guys fall dead upon shooting in their direction.
They're running. Come in. We got guys coming up. They're pushing up.
It is a great feeling when others react to your blankfire, but typically as long as they go for cover or react appropriately, that is good enough. There are two main types of blankfire guns: blankfire only firearms and real firearms that have been adapted for blankfire. In the first category, there are two types of blankfire only guns. There are top firing and front firing. Blank-only firearms tend to be more safe than real firearms as they cannot chamber or fire real ammunition. However, they are still just as dangerous as blank-adapted firearms when participants are too close to the point of fire. Top-firing blank guns have a single chamber and a gas port on the top of the firearm. There is no barrel, and the blank fire is directed upwards out of a gas port on the top of the firearm. These firearms shoot a proprietary round, typically 9mm pack, which is a very low-pressure blank-only round designed with flash, sound, and action cycling in mind. When the blank gun is fired, the gases are expelled upwards and create the flash and sound emulating gunfire, and the bolt can progress to extract the round from the chamber and load a new round into the chamber. Top-firing blank guns typically are only sold as pistols or SMG-style firearms. I usually only use them as a sidearm option if I do not have the time to reload my primary. On the other hand, front-firing blank guns shoot a round which expels the excess gas through the front of the blank gun. Real guns adapted for blank fire are also front-firing. Front-firing blank-only firearms have a blank-only barrel that cannot chamber a real round, but still have a channel all the way up to the muzzle to allow excess gases to create a flash signature. Blank-only firearms use proprietary designs, and as such there are some ATF-approved designs that allow full auto function out of the blank guns that are not NFA. Most of them are fictional gun designs, only existing in blank form, but there are blank-only replicas of real firearms, such as the front-firing blank-only rifles made by Indianapolis Ordnance. However, most of them are World War era replicas and would be farbed to run as a primary unless you are playing on a militia faction. As such, typically, individuals who run blankfire guns will run real firearms that have blankfire adapters that allow them to shoot blanks from their real firearms in use at a Milsim West event. This allows them to have the correct firearm for their particular faction, and adds to the Milsim West immersion. Now, many of you might be wondering, what about safety? Even with blanks, firearms are still dangerous, and blanks can be just as dangerous as live rounds if not treated safely. Most blankfire guns used at Milsim games are real firearms, and as such, firearm safety must be practiced at all times. Milsim West has rules and regulations regarding the use of blankfire guns, which aids users in safely using their blankfire firearms at Milsim West events. The minimum engagement rule. This rule specifies that you may only engage targets that are 20 feet or more away from your muzzle. The blast of a blank can be loud and concussing, and participants too close to the fire can suffer from injury. As such, there is also a 180-degree rule. This rule specifies that you may not engage if there are individuals within a specified safety fan. The safety fan is a dome-shaped area with a radius of 20 feet from your muzzle encompassing 180 degrees. If there are participants within this fan, you are not clear to fire. It can be easy to get tunnel visioned during the heat of battle, but you must always remember to check your surroundings. Check your right and your left, check in front, and make sure that participants are not within, nor are they moving into your safety fan. If someone moved into your safety fan, point your gun in a safe direction and wait for them to move out. Or you can move to a new position where there are no players within your safety fan. One way to visually tell if someone is more than 20 feet away is to use visual representation. Before the game, find someone or a group of people with average and varying heights. Set them 20 feet away, put their head to the top of your index finger, and then see where their feet sit on your finger. You can mark that spot, or perhaps they rest right on a distinct wrinkle. For myself, I found that people 20 feet away, when I put their heads on the top of my index finger, their feet sat right at the bottom of my second knuckle. Everyone's finger is different, so you'll want to see where their feet rest on your index finger. If during the game I am not sure of how far away someone might be, I put my thumb to the bottom of my second knuckle, and if they fit that area, I know I am clear to fire. On top of the safety fan rule, you must always practice the 4 rules of firearm safety. The first, all guns are always loaded. Your blankfire gun is always loaded. You must treat it as if it were loaded with live ammunition at all times. The second, never let your muzzle cross anything you're not willing to destroy. You do not point your firearm directly at people or anything you do not intend on destroying. If someone starts moving in the front of your path, move your muzzle down. Always be aware of where your muzzle is pointing. Even when you have your rifle at rest, rucking, or on patrol, keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Remember, your firearm is always loaded. I even follow this rule when engaging the enemy. I do not point directly at them. Rather, I point in directions away from them, but in their general direction, by shooting to the right or left or above their positioning. The third, keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to fire. This is a very important rule. Even if you feel your firearm is pointed in a safe direction, let's say, for example, down, but you are running around with your finger on the trigger. Imagine if you fell and negligently pulled that trigger and shot a blank into your foot or leg. A blank at that distance can cause serious injury. Or imagine if you had it pointed upwards, fell, swung your firearm forward and into a fellow participant, and accidentally pulled the trigger. This kind of action can cause injury to another participant and even possibly death. Keep your safety on and keep your finger off the trigger till you are ready to engage the enemy. When I engage the enemy, I still remember, do not let your muzzle cross anything you do not intend to destroy. I do not shoot directly at them, but rather offset to their physical location, but only in their general direction. And the fourth rule, be aware of your target and what is beyond. In Milsim West, be aware of your surroundings. Who is to your right? Who is to your left? Think of your safety fan. Know who is in your radius. Know who is beyond your radius. On top of these rules, Milsim West has a few other rules to follow. Do not flag other participants. Keep your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Shooting from within a building is prohibited. If you have a blankfire gun inside of a building, transition to an airsoft replica, or move outside to engage targets. Do not shoot at doors, windows, or murder holes within the 20-foot, 180-degree safety fan. You should treat open doors, windows, and other openings in buildings as if participants were right inside of them, and do not engage them unless they are outside of the safety fan. You should not blind fire nor shoot a rifle one-handed. Do not let others use your blankfire gun. Do not call someone else's hit. They are not required to call a hit from your blankfire. Do not hip fire. Do not takbir before blankfiring. And for the love of God, do not talk about your goddamn waifu while providing blankfire. No one cares about your snet girl waifu while trying to kill Hadel scum. So from here, I will show you some examples of safely using blankfire. As you can see, here I have two friendlies that I have encountered. I then move in front of them before I start to blankfire. After I move into a location I cannot see them, I make sure to call out to them to verify their location.
You on my left? Okay.
I then move accordingly so to make sure that they do not enter my safety fan.
Nah.
In this video, after verifying the location of my friends, I notify them that I'm about to shoot blanks so they can prepare appropriately.
Guys, watch out. I'm gonna be shooting blanks from right here. They're coming. Saw something move.
As friendlies approach, I put my muzzle down so they do not cross the path of my fire, and I wait for them to clear and move out of my safety fan.
Oh, we got guys coming up. Hey guys, we got movement in these trees. We got movement in those trees, guys. They're shooting. I can't shoot because I got guys in my... I got guys now in my fucking radius, dude. I got guys in my radius. I gotta wait for them to move forward. Okay. Ready? 1, 2. I'll count to 3 and say go, okay? 1, 2, 3, go! Hold on. I got guys moving across my line of fire. Okay, I got it. Hold on. Hold on, I can't. They're in my way. Are you sure? I'll wait for them to move real quick. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Awesome.
In this video, I have people to my right. So before I blank fire, I run forward to make sure they are not within my safety fan. Before you begin blank firing, check your right and your left. Make sure that there is nobody in your safety fan before you begin to shoot. It's even a good idea to double check just in case. And with that concludes this video on Milsim West etiquette, rules, and safety. I hope that you all found this video informational and will be able to practice safety while using blanks at Milsim West. I hope to see you at the next Milsim West event.